The Eden Area Livability Initiative, EALI Charette, a community convention, April 5th, 2008. Hosted by Alameda County Supervisor Nate Miley.
Okay, now, in terms of the Eden Area Livability Initiative, let me just kind of give folks a brief chronology. You know, we started this journey, and we're almost finished this part of the journey, because we'll finish it at the end of the year. But we started this journey back in March of 2004, when we had a livable community seminar, and it was facilitated by Charles Gandy. He came in from Texas and facilitated a seminar for us. And that seminar was both with the community and with county officials. And it was really the very first time, at least since I've been the supervisor, that we had county officials from different county agencies talking and working together across their respective jurisdictions or agencies to try to look at how we would make a community livable from their perspective, because they all have their expertise, but now how do you combine that and really hone it in? So out of that grew this Eden Area Livability Initiative. And we started to hold what we call TAC meetings, Technical Advisory Committee meetings, with the county staff and other jurisdictions. HARD's been a very diligent participant. And when I say county staff, we've mainly been, it's been Public Works, the Sheriff's Department, the library, community development, I said Sheriff's, CHP, and I know I'm missing one, Fire Department. So it's been all of those departments that have been meeting with us. Community, the CAO's office, right? Yes, County Administrator's office. Thank you, Rich. We meet on a monthly basis to look at how we can advance a livable community. And out of that effort, we came up with some livability principles, which are based on the EALI principles. You have those principles in your pamphlet. They're identified as the Thrive livability factors. So we came up with those through a community process of which approved those and honed those. And then we really kicked off this whole thing in December of 2004 when we had a series of meetings, or town hall meetings, to look at the history of the unincorporated area, because we felt it was important that people get a sense of the unincorporated area historically. And so we went all the way back. We didn't go back to the Stone Age, but we did go back, relatively far. And we looked at how the unincorporated area has evolved over time, so people have a sense of where they've come from. Because everyone hasn't lived out here their total life. They're new people. And then also some of the folks that have lived out here could contribute to that history. And we thought if we had that historical perspective, it would help us to determine how we might bring about a more livable community. Then we convened what I would call our Blue Ribbon Committee, our Blue Ribbon. It was made up of about 40 to 50 people who were hand-selected, and they volunteered a year of their time to help serve as a sounding board to more or less guide this process. In between that, we also had a group that was meeting to help us give a name and a symbol to this whole process. So that the Eden Area Livability Initiative came from people giving us input, and the symbol actually came from people looking at various possibilities and combining them and deciding on that symbol. And Ken Carboni graciously designed it and came up with the symbol. Ken, when you stand up, be recognized. Yeah. Ken's a planning commissioner, very active in Castro Valley and throughout the community. So that's kind of how we got to that. Then we launched in 2007. We had 3 leadership meetings, and these were in different areas of the unincorporated area. We had 3 town hall meetings as well. The leadership meetings were in May. The town hall meetings were in July of 2007. Then we had, to help us to ensure that we would get people involved in this whole effort, We had a community engagement task force who met with us at least 10 times to help figure out how we're going to get the word out and get people engaged. You know, we've had at least 2 mailings to people with the support of Waste Management that announced aspects of this effort that went into everyone's garbage bill, and that hit 41,000 households. But there's been a lot of phone calling, a lot of one-on-one work, a lot of distribution of flyers and notices and things of that nature, emails. So there's been a lot of effort to try to ensure participation. Then we had a series of task force meetings. There were 6 task forces and they met twice. So there were 12 task force meetings, 6 in November and then 6 in January of '08. Out of the Blue Ribbon finished its work in June of '07. So in September of '07, we convened a joint leadership committee on livability. Since the Blue Ribbon was hand-selected, the Joint Leadership Committee on Livability was anyone who was interested in participating in helping to provide leadership for this effort. The reason we evolved from a Blue Ribbon to a joint leadership is so that so it could be more inclusive, so that more people could participate. The Blue Ribbon, when those folks volunteered, they knew they had a year's commitment, and we didn't want to hold them beyond that year. Then we've prepared to get to this point in time, the community charrette. And I think of this as more or less the unincorporated areas community convention. Because you have 24 projects that have come out of the task forces that some of you participated in. This was community driven, this whole process. And over the last 2 years, we've had nearly 700 different people involved in this process. And today you'll have an opportunity to select the top 5 projects that you feel will cut across the unincorporated area, even if the project might be located in a particular community, that will benefit the entire incorporated area. And when we talk about the unincorporated communities, we're talking about Castro Valley and all the communities in Castro Valley. Ashland, Cherryland, San Lorenzo, Fairview, Hillcrest, Knowles. Now behind me, if you look up on the wall, you see action without vision is a nightmare. Vision without action is a daydream. So this whole effort is to come up with a vision, come up with projects that will help us implement and manifest that vision. We still haven't finalized the vision. We'll be doing that over the next few months, but these projects will help us crystallize what that is. So once again, I just want to thank all of you for coming out, taking a stake in this process. You know, like you've heard me say before, democracy is not a spectator sport. We all have to be involved. We all have to be engaged.
That's right.
This is a Saturday, and you're giving up valuable time on a Saturday to come and be engaged in a community process that will hopefully determine and improve the quality of life in the unincorporated communities. So I just want to thank you for coming out. I want to thank the folks that have helped us to get this far, not just the paid people, but all the many volunteers, because there's been a lot of volunteers from the community working on this. And with that being said, you'll hear from me again later today, but I'm going to bring Jeremy up now, and he's going to take over, give you some more information, take you through the projects, and then we'll give you a chance to go look at stuff before you vote. All right.